All right, let's move on to the Jets then, because they're facing the Raiders. And the Jets are a different offense with Sam Darnold under center, both from a target distribution and a play distribution perspective. And I think that they are very interesting. The hard part is, with whom do we stack Sam Darnold? And you're going to try to answer that here with your third trend.
Yeah, I mean, so this game is the total's 46 and a half, so that puts it fourth out of 11 games on the main slate. Spread just 3 points in favor of the Raiders, so not that dissimilar to Eagles Seahawks in terms of the total and the spread. So I wanted to talk about this one. And Sam Darnold, just $7,400, gets a bottom six pass defense here. Oakland's 27th in adjusted pass defense based on number Fire's metrics. And he's actually done just what you would expect against bottom half opponents in three matchups with 261 yards, 2 touchdowns per game. He's matchup dependent. Again, a lot of quarterbacks are, and this is a promising matchup. With Darnold back at the helm, the Jets' target distribution has been 23% for Jamison Crowder, 20% for Demaryius Thomas, 18% for Robbie Anderson, and 14% for Le'Veon Bell. I mention a lot that I'm usually good with teams that give about 20% of the targets to three different players. It's a pretty common construction. That's mostly what this is. Anderson's not quite there, but it's close. But the deep targets really favor Robbie Anderson, who is 10th in this particular split in targets at least 16 yards downfield. He's caught just 3 of 14, though, so I think there's could be some regression appeal for Robbie Anderson. Demaryius Thomas actually has 11 deep targets of his own, catching 7 of them, so he's getting some deep looks. Ryan Griffin, $5,600, so he's priced up for a tight end, but does have target totals of 8, 1, and 5 the past 3 games. Oakland does rank top 5 in target success rate allowed to tight ends, so don't love that, but I don't mind Darnold at $7,400. I just can't look at either side of this game and say that anyone has a particularly bankable market share. But I don't hate Robbie Anderson this week for potential coming through with a deep ball or two. So, how are you handling your boy Sam Darnold this week?
I like Darnold a lot, and I am very okay with him. I think that I prefer Jamison Crowder. I'm actually kind of high on Jamison Crowder, $6,500. And if you include that game against the Bills, his target share with Darnold is 26%. I know he had 17 there, so it's kind of inflating things, but that was a Sam Darnold game. So I don't think it's entirely irrelevant to discuss that game. Demaryius wasn't there at that time. I think he got traded after week 1. Because Anunua got hurt then. So it's not entirely relevant, but I think it's interesting. He's been getting enough deep work where I think he has a ceiling. He's had, I think, like 90 yards like 3 separate times this year. So like there is a path to upside for Jamison Crowder, and I don't think we view him that way. Like a lot of guys, Jamison Crowder's never been a high upside guy, but I think he has a path to upside. Yeah, he's had at least 76 yards in 3 straight games. He's getting a lot of red zone work too. So I think that Crowder is my favorite way. I understand Robbie Anderson. I can't really have him even be a fringe core play just because the floor is 0. So I think that I'm a little bit lower on him, higher on Crowder. Ryan Griffin is very interesting though. The one game where he had 1 target is the one game that Chris Herndon played. And Herndon is now on IR. Griffin, outside of that, I think he played like 90-something% of the snaps. In week 9, 93%. It was 95% in week 8, 85% last week. They got Daniel Brown a bit involved, and he's interesting athletically because he does have some speed. So I think that's noteworthy. Brown did have a touchdown too, but I still think that Griffin at 56 is a way to go here. So I think I'd rank them Crowder, Griffin, Anderson, but I will have exposure to all of them. What about Le'Veon Bell? He is $7,300, and Le'Veon Bell has not practiced on a Wednesday since 2007. And he got in a full practice. He was not even on the injury report yesterday. He apparently is no longer going to be tested for HGH. So that's appealing. What do you think about Le'Veon at 73?
I like Le'Veon a lot. Could foreshadow and say that I love Le'Veon for the price. So just saying, I think that there's appeal for Le'Veon Bell. Like I said, I like this offense with Darnold. They should be able to move the ball. against the Raiders. So I'm in on Bell. I don't mind Crowder. I'll probably need to be in that range. I like DJ Moore a lot more, but still, this week I'm probably going to be in that 6,000 range for three receivers in my main build, and he's in consideration for that. So I'm pretty high on this offense too.
Yeah, Le'Veon has needed a touchdown to pay off the past 2 weeks, but he does have 17, 18, and 18 carries. He has 9, 4, and 2 targets, and he's been getting some like non-dump off targets in the passing game, which I think is noteworthy. He had a target up the seam against Washington last week, and if they're going to use him that way, sweet. I don't think he's like a core play. He's very close to it though. He might be just because there aren't a ton of running backs that I like.
Yeah.
He's very, very close.
If I have to play Le'Veon in like my one main lineup because it's just the only way that I can like the whole lineup, I won't hate it.
I think he and Leonard Fournette are kind of in that same zone for me, where I'm like, if I have to go there, that's fine. You know, I'm not going to cry over it. But
Yep.
like, it's okay. I think I could definitely be okay with that.